Polarized Report. Welcome to the Polarized Report on a week of the Call of the Invisible Bhoot Lodge. Now, here are your hosts.
Von Bun.
I'm Keegan.
It's Frankie.
And we got
Casey.
Casey's first episode of season 2.
Welcome
Probably
back.
wondering why the announcer said that weirdest sentence ever. It's because we're talking about Call of the Wild, Invincible Man, Bhoot, The Haunted Ship, Chapter 1, and
Out of 12.
The Lodge.
And if it didn't seem normal to the other rambling of the falling over of words for an intro, it's because it was not done by me.
Yeah, Keegan didn't completely fail whilst talking.
They are very mediocre at best.
Yeah, no, your intros are golden every time.
This intro's got me ready
Well,
for like an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Unfortunately, the announcer is just my friend, so he only comes with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the announcer? Find out on the next episode of Never. All right. Welcome to the Polarized Report, where a platform where we talk all movies that have come out in the year 2020. We rate movies on a rating scale of 1 to 4, 1 being bad, 2 being okay, 3 being good, and 4 being great. We just get to rate all these fantastic movies, and then we have an amazing gauntlet that we're setting up for season 2.
Gauntlet.
Ray, would you want to give us the gauntlet?
Oh boy, alright. Still tied for fucking 12 and 13. We got Like a Boss and Rhythm Section. Sitting at number 11, we got Doolittle. Number 10 is The Grudge. 9 is Sonic. 8 is Horse Girl. 7 is Gretel and Hansel. I keep almost saying that backwards. Number 6 is Bad Boys 3. Number 5 is Underwater. Number 4 is Weathering with You. Number 3 is Fantasy Island. Number 2 is Birds of Prey. And still sitting at number 1 is Gentleman, which is still lowercase.
I will.
The gentleman.
I'll fix that eventually.
The
Oh,
gentleman.
and today we also have our bottom 7.
Oh, the bottom 7, which is sitting with The Turning, just being oh so lonely.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Mr. Lonely.
That movie was so bad. Oh my gosh. All right, well, so we're gonna start off with our new system. We're starting off very quick while Keegan sings annoyingly, and we are going to talk about. Oh my God, are you okay?
Welcome to the Polarized Report, everybody.
There's a tiny man inside me that's screaming right
I
now.
noticed. So we're gonna go with Casey because this is your first episode. So what did you see this week? Or this
Well, no,
year,
actually,
the new year?
I was both this week. Birds of Prey,
Okay.
and then I saw Invisible Man.
Well, now we're not talking about Invisible Man.
Okay,
Did you just see Birds of Prey and Invisible Man?
that's it.
Perfect. Well, what do you think of Birds of Prey? You're the like you like these kind of movies.
Yeah. So first of all, I have a girlfriend, and she actually went to this one with me, which is the first superhero type movie. And the reason I mention that is because I don't know if anybody remembers, but my perspective has always been kind of how like the crowd's gonna react, right?
Mhm.
And even though it wasn't that big of an outing, which is pretty sad, what I was really impressed with was her reaction more so than my own. I was really cool with it. I mean, it was a great movie, but for her, it was a movie like that was like interesting and like connected with her, and she was awake the whole time, which is the first movie I've seen with her forever that she's actually stayed awake for. So, just that in and of itself,
They have
is-
great napping chairs at theaters now. That
They
is not
do.
completely
True.
our
no,
fault.
it's true, and that's what I'm
The
saying.
Lodge was rough, man. Or
what I'm
no, not
saying,
The
like-
Lodge, The Turning.
The turning was rough. Oh man.
That's what
And
I'm
rhythm
saying.
section.
Like, I totally understand why she does that because it's just not her thing. But
Mm-hmm.
this was not just action. It was like, first of all, really cool, well thought out action, using like her weight and stuff like that, like to actually make it look legit.
Fight scenes were sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
We-
Not
we
like
support-
Suicide Squad. Not like
No.
Suicide
No, it was
Squad.
not. It was such a
Yeah.
180
And
from
it was a
Suicide
lot-
Squad. And
it was
in the
because
right
she-
way.
They could
Robbie
have
did
been
it.
called Suicide
Robbie
Squad
did it
360.
herself this time around. She spent 3 years preparing for it, and you could tell.
But what do you rate it?
Oh God, rating! I forgot about all that.
Yeah, you do have to rate
been
the movies
so
we talk
long.
about, and we're so glad to have
So
you
what's the
back.
rating for people that aren't?
I literally said it like 2 minutes ago.
I
So I'm
already-
not gonna say
I
it.
already
Yeah.
know. I know what.
Yeah,
the
he knows. He
rating
helped
is. I just
create the
forgot
rating.
that
For
I-
everyone
He's
that wasn't
OG.
listening to that point, go back
Yeah,
and listen
I'd say
to
it's
when we
actually
just ended.
probably a pie.
A pie.
Yeah.
So you don't think it was that good?
So no, I don't. I think that it was really good in a lot of ways, but for me, this is now going to me. Personally, my own rating for it is a pie, just because I feel like I could watch it a bunch of times, but I don't look at it kind of like some of the other superhero type movies. Like,
Okay.
DC's been doing some cool stuff. This is one of them. But for me personally, now looking at like what other people would think if they actually went and saw it, maybe like a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Cool.
a background while doing chores movie.
Is
For
a pie
anybody, yeah.
like
So
your
Pie,
guilty pleasure
a guilty
movie?
pleasure movie.
Okay.
Yep. So Pie are like movies where you're like, this is probably not a good movie, but I still love it.
Underwater for you.
Yeah, no, Underwater is a 4. I like Underwater, and it is a good movie. But yes, it's kind of like Underwater.
Underwater is
so.
definitely a solid 4. And anybody who thinks differently is not a real human being.
Pie,
Okay,
Sorry.
I gave Underwater a 2.
Yeah.
well, like
We can't be
pie in this situation is only in the fact that, like, it. I don't even know how to explain. Like, it was all a cool concept, right? But like, the Birds of Prey did nothing, right? Like, the only part that's really that nice about it is Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
and it's really nice. But like, that is not enough to pull a movie. So for me, I'm watching it like imagining like her hanging out with the new Joker, right? Like somehow, like maybe he's her dad, and like seriously,
Wow.
like
Okay.
I'm imagining
He
all
could
these
be.
really cool
He could be
scenarios.
daddy. Yeah.
Okay, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And he inspired. Hold on.
That
He
was
inspired a
good.
shitty Jared Leto Joker. Think about it.
Oh,
And
Jared Leto's
literally,
They are not
she-
connected yet.
But I'm just coming up with a plot in my head that made it really enjoyable. So that's why it's a
Okay.
guilty pleasure.
That
for
makes
us.
sense. No, what you said
Also,
does make
don't
sense.
call people daddy anymore. Please go with yes, chef.
Or sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Why
chef.
chef?
Why?
It's powerful. It's leadership, and it's one-way ticket to Flavor Town.
Oh, yes, chef.
Wow, that was
I'm
clever.
not
Everyone
going
respects a
to-
yes, chef.
Oh, I'm,
I
I'm
refuse.
impressed. I'm impressed. Okay.
Bring
Well,
it on.
cool.
Yeah.
We're glad that you
Fucking
finally got to
best
see
thing I've
Birds
ever
of Prey
seen.
because that was your movie. You're on
Yes.
the artwork with the Harley Quinn pigtails and the hammer. So
I bet
that was
I look
your movie.
beautiful. We
You
gotta
are
get an
beautiful.
actual
Right.
picture of that.
Yeah, you have to look at it.
Since that's what I'm wearing literally right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're slightly
Yeah, we are
concerned when you
all in
walked
costume.
Right, 'cause
According to
who are you? Who
I
are you
am
again?
actually straddling a
Robotnik.
polar
Oh yeah,
bear.
you're Dr. Robotnik. That's
Yeah.
right. We already talked about your
Yes.
movie,
Yes.
Sonic.
I got
You
the
were
Fantasy Island.
We
So I
talked
got like
about
the
your
coat
movie.
and the martini glass.
Yeah, you got a really cool artwork.
Yeah.
piece.
that
Guys,
was great.
I'm legitimately straddling a live polar bear
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
because you
in a platonic way.
In a platonic way.
That's
He
right, you
loves
did
it.
do little-
It's
yeah.
great.
I'm the only
just
one who
friends.
doesn't have my movie yet in
Oh
the
yeah,
podcast.
the Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, 'cause it
Oh,
hasn't come
yeah.
out in Colorado yet. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so bummed.
Which is dumb.
It's so dumb.
Super
All right,
dumb.
well,
The
and
artwork
now
makes you look like you just did a line of coke and you're ready to just like blast the people.
that's kind of what Daniel Radcliffe looks like in the screenshots of that movie.
That's
as
kind of
well.
what Daniel Radcliffe
So
looks
long
like.
ago, those shots came out.
Dude, I know that movie's been underground
3,
for so
4
long.
years?
They're like, what happened to Harry Potter? Like, and he's just like, ah! He has like guns nailed to his hands, and he's wearing like a fucking bathrobe.
I
with-
tried everything
with
from A
bear
to
paw
Z, and I
slippers,
stopped
he's
at
like,
M.
"Ah!" All right, but now that we have Frankie. Frankie's missed a few episodes, so he's back on as well, and he wants to talk about the other movie that he saw.
I saw Horse Girl, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a
Race
really
base.
good look at someone's crazy.
Someone's crazy.
Someone's
And
crazy.
it's possibly
Connor
my
agrees with
new
you.
Connor does agree with you.
favorite alien movie.
It's not an alien movie.
No, it's not.
It's definitely an alien
She's
movie.
definitely just going crazy.
All right, you get your time to talk about it. You get about a minute.
I don't know. I thought it was really well done. She played the part of going crazy really fucking well, and it was just a really good look at someone's mind going crazy.
Dude, that movie was whack.
Yeah,
How did it make you feel?
like I was going crazy
Like you going crazy?
Yeah.
Like you felt like you're on the journey with her?
a little bit. Man.
Did you lose yourself along the way?
A little bit.
Who are you? Who
That
am I?
ending. What even happened in the end? Like,
She was taken by aliens.
It was
okay.
yeah, there was like the loop of something. Or, I don't
Oh, I'm
know.
so
It
down
was
for the
the
time
alien.
travel. So down for the time travel. Just and let it happen.
God, that movie
Oh,
was just like
she
Act
was so
1.
crazy.
Act 1's like tame. Act 2, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then Act 3 just.
I
brings
kind of
it.
want to watch it again.
I don't know if I'm ready for it yet.
Please.
I'm not ready for it yet, but okay. Horse Girl. So it's currently right here.
Oh man,
Did you see Gretel and Hansel?
I have not.
Ah, so you cannot move it. But did you see Sonic?
I have seen Underwater.
Well, yeah, but
It
it doesn't
This is
matter.
better than Underwater.
It's definitely better than Bad Boys 3.
Whoa.
Not as good as Underwater.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. second. So,
All right,
like,
Frankie,
is
we're gonna
yeah.
We're throwing down now. No, the point of the gauntlet is the only way for it to move up, but it has to beat each title because they're there for a reason. So you don't technically have a vote on this one. But did you see Sonic?
No.
Oh, okay.
Fuck Sonic.
So Horse Girl is gonna stay.
I heard
right
Jim
there.
Carrey broke his back in that fucking movie.
Yeah, 'cause
He
he
did, he
carried
carried
it. Fantastic. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the 4 movies. We are now adding 4 movies onto this week.
Big movie week.
Super big movie week. Super excited because we missed last week. So
Spooky movie
we
week.
came back.
Doolittle gets knocked
It's
off.
spooky
Oh,
movie year, man.
Yeah, we came to an
so
over.
far.
They showed another one for like June in the trailers, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's still going.
I know, Candyman looks
Yeah,
cool too. I'm
Candyman.
excited
Oh,
for
that
Candyman. That looks sick.
And then they showed Chris Rock doing a
Saw, the new
movie?
Saw reboot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's, I think it's like Saw.
Spiral?
No,
Oh, it's
Spiral.
Spiral.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Chris Rock is doing a
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris Rock is producing a
producing
Saw movie
and
with Samuel L.
starring.
Jackson.
That
Yeah.
sounds like it's gonna
With
be
like
fucking
the original
amazing.
writers.
or
Like,
really
helping.
shitty. I mean,
I think it's gonna be cool.
I
I
think
don't
it's gonna
know.
be interesting. I feel like
But
it's
see,
gonna
the
be
last
different.
Saw, Jigsaw, was actually not bad.
That's true.
It was like
Fuck
they
that.
redeemed it
I
a
hate
little
all
bit.
of
It
them.
wasn't
Not
great,
all of them were bad
but
at
it wasn't
all.
bad.
It wasn't bad, which is what from the last like 5 iterations, it was improvement.
It was
We had
a- it was a
A
improvement.
couple of them were really bad. Yes.
Like, oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah. 4 through
After-
7
yeah.
were
Yeah.
bad.
After 3.
Yeah,
4
yeah,
through
yeah,
7
okay.
were
Thinking about
bad.
everything after
2
was
and 3
pretty
were
bad.
okay. 1 was actually really good.
Here's my question.
One is great.
Yeah, 1's great.
Why not literally just create a new movie with like why do another Saw movie?
Because
It's not a direct
It's-
tie
yeah.
though. It said the trailer was it was like Spiral from the Book of Saw, so it
Yeah.
seems to be like an offshoot. in
It's
the same
literally
universe.
creating like the Saw universe.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well,
So
because
it's
everything has to have a
copycat.
universe now.
It's a
yeah.
copycat
Oh.
killer.
Because that's just the world we live in now, Casey. I'm sorry. I didn't invent the world. I just
Literally
wanted to live here.
like Tenet, like that's what I'm thinking.
Dude, Tenet looks sick though.
Ten
I'm
looks
excited.
really
Tenet.
cool.
All right, so we're gonna talk about these movies.
Give me
really
my
quick,
knife.
though. I actually did not ask everyone. How many of us saw The Lodge?
Me,
I did.
You did not. No. How many of us saw Bhoot?
me.
Just us 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see Call of Wild? So just us 3.
Yeah.
And Invisible Man was all 5. Great. Okay.
Boom,
So we're
boom.
gonna
All of us. Boom, boom.
boom boom. All right. So we're gonna go up the list. Then we're gonna talk about easily the worst one. The Lodge. All right. So The Lodge. You want to pull up the summary?
Yeah.
While I attempt to summarize it. The Lodge is a movie about this. I think I remember part of the summary. It's like, what do you get when you combine a suicide cult, a mentally unstable woman, and an abandoned house in the woods? Like, I think that's what the summary
Like
says.
that joke.
And shitty kids. That's not in the summary.
Shitty kids, a cheating husband, and isolation. That's
Some
it.
real shit.
Some real shit. So yeah, The Lodge. That's a movie. It's
Where's
about
my pills?
these 2 kids
That's a
who go to a
movie.
cabin with their dad's girlfriend, and then get stranded in the cabin
Yep.
on Christmas. And this movie came out in February. I just want
Stranded
everyone to remember that
why?
it is technically a Christmas movie.
Stranded how? Because
Like
it
the power
snows?
goes out, it snows in. The closest town's like 2 miles away, and there's a gas
Yeah,
station.
they're like
that
deep-
they
they're deep
stop
mountains,
at.
that's
They're
why.
deep mountains.
Bitch,
Were they
I got
in
it.
Colorado?
No, I don't think so.
I swore I recognized some of the
Is
roads. there.
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Okay, what's the summary?
Let's see. A bone-chilling nightmare from the directions of Goodnight Mommy. The Lodge follows a family who retreat to their remote winter cabin over the holidays. The father is forced to abruptly depart for work. He leaves his children, Aiden and Mia, in the care of his new girlfriend, Grace. Isolated and alone, a blizzard traps them inside the lodge as terrifying events summon specters from Grace's dark past.
I definitely read a different summary.
Wow.
Cool.
So it sounds to me like a modern day wannabe Evil Dead.
No, not even.
No.
Not even a little
No.
bit. All right, so this
Then it
movie,
sucks.
you didn't see it, so you can't talk on this part.
I am talking.
No, Keegan, what do you think? We haven't heard from you in a while.
I didn't hate this movie.
Oh yeah, you're gonna fight for this movie. I
I
forgot
was
about
gonna
that.
fight for this movie. I thought personally, I liked the style that it was shot in. Definitely the first act hit hard, and the second act was whatever. And then the third act, you don't know really what's going on.
Act 1 was actually really well done.
Yeah, and
I will
it
say that.
it did go downhill a little bit, but also it's like hey, listen, all the characters seem very fucking believable. There was nothing out of the fucking ordinary, other than maybe he's kind of a shitty dad. Like-
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Like he's kind of a garbage human being, and he made poor life decisions, and the kids and girlfriend may or may not have paid him with certain things, and I thoroughly didn't hate it. It
Sounds
was
like this guy and I would be
really.
I didn't hate it.
You know, that's
I
kind of
liked
that's
it.
a good
I
point.
liked it. I'll say I liked it. I didn't. Out of what all the other ones that have come out this year, yes, it was solid. I think part of the isolation too, and not knowing what the fuck was going on, but it was easy to follow what the non-fuckery was going on.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what was going on because I was like, "Ooh, what's
What do you
next?"
rate
I give it a solid. Yeah, I give it a 2.
A 2? Okay, you give it a 2.
Solid
A
two.
solid
Solid
2.
two.
All right, Ray, what would you
Solid
do this
number
movie?
two.
Oh my god, this movie is so bad. Like, okay, like Act 1, I'll agree, pretty good.
Yeah?
There is one big problem I have with it, but we'll get that
we'll
later.
talk about it, yeah.
2 and 3, it was like they took this like good idea that they were building up, and they're like, all right, we're gonna do none of that. We're just gonna make this movie now, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be awful.
Oh, yes, agreed.
And not make any sense. Yeah, the characters at least stayed true to the act that they were in.
What?
So like the characters kind of changed like Act 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, yeah.
But they at least stayed consistent for those acts.
Oh,
Did
that's
they,
fair.
You know, flip characters, like changing it. Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
But it was still bad. I
Yeah.
give it a 1.
you give it a 1.
It's a hard one.
Hard one, okay.
Like
It's
a flaccid
it's a
1-inch
bat.
micro dick.
Oh my gosh.
It's a semi
Woo.
one.
It's a semi one? Okay, yeah.
Semi
Semi
one.
one, Jesus
Semi
Christ. Okay, well, we're gonna
Just enough
definitely.
to get you started, but not to start the work.
Jesus Christ.
It's like
Okay.
your first cup and a half of coffee in
Well,
the morning.
then, before we actually start the gauntlet, I do have to say one thing. I need to break the tie here, personally, because it was my vote that made this tie. And after thinking about Rhythm Section and Like a Boss is the better movie. So Rhythm Section is getting knocked to officially be number 13, and it's no longer tied with Like a Boss. That being said, now we can decide what's better, the Lodge or Rhythm Section.
Rhythm
Lodge.
section.
I say the Lodge as well.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with Lodge. I thought that I actually the friend that we saw Invisible Man with tonight.
Yeah.
He really liked the Lodge, and I asked him why, and he sent me like a literal like essay on it, and it was actually like he brought up some really good points. So I am gonna say it was better than the Rhythm Section.
It's okay. I'm just here to hate movies.
Yeah, yes, and that's okay. You're our new Connor, apparently.
I'm here to hate
Okay.
the things you like.
Next one, the Lodge or Like a Boss.
The
Keegan.
Lodge.
The Lodge. I
Yeah.
agree with you there. Okay,
Yeah.
we're on the same point. Like a Boss was just so bad. All right, next, Doolittle or The Lodge.
I mean, you know my vote from here on out.
Yeah.
I say the Lodge.
You still say The Lodge is better than
Yeah.
Doolittle?
You're a
Whoa.
madman. You're a madman.
Doolittle's not getting knocked off this list.
Hey, you can stick.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
stick
I'm
it.
sticking to
Doolittle.
that.
I'm
Doolittle
actually.
fan.
I'm also gonna stick with
Doolittle
that.
will not
I
get
really
knocked
did
off this
not
list.
like Doolittle, so I'm
I
gonna.
at least like
Frankie's
left
putting
Doolittle
his-
and like didn't feel like I wasted my life doing anything else, like, you know,
Is
getting
Doolittle
anally
your
penetrated
polar?
by a
Yes!
cactus.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm
Doolittle's,
so
like,
glad you're on
my
this
number
podcast.
one movie of the year.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
says-
your polar?
What? Oh, that is your polar.
Pretty much.
Ooh, you have to talk
For
about it
now.
every episode now, like Casey did all last season.
Imagine it.
All right, The Grudge or The Lodge.
But I'm not gonna rewatch it every week.
No, which one? You didn't.
I only did
Oh.
that for like
It's not taking
12
the place of
weeks,
the
bro.
Oh, it's not okay.
It's not-
so you
it's
think
not
The
as-
Grudge was better than The Lodge?
Yes, personally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
a
not
little
close.
bit.
do you agree there?
Yeah,
But how
Okay.
many
way
times?
better.
Okay, cool. So,
Was it good?
all right, there we go. The Lodge is now going to be going right in between The Grudge and Doolittle, which will kick Rhythm Section to the bottom.
That's fine.
Good. Get out of here. It's worthless. I'm just gonna point an arrow down.
Dang.
All right, cool. Yeah, we
Sadness.
hated that movie.
Should just do a sad face.
Sad face. All
What
right, cool.
is Rhythm section.
It was a movie of Jude Law that didn't have enough Jude Law.
Sweet.
Right?
There
That's
was
a
a
good way to
decent-
describe it, yeah.
There's a decent amount of Jude Law too, so it's really saying
But
something.
not enough. All right, next movie.
But-
Should we do, I think we should talk about Call of the Wild next.
Is there ever enough?
Yeah.
Jude
Call of
Law?
the Wild? Great, cool. Oh, you didn't give you
No.
gave it 1. I didn't give my
Yes.
rating for The Lodge. I'm sorry. I gave it a 2.
Never.
I gave it a 2.
There is never.
Okay.
Is there?
We're talking about Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild is a movie. Pull up the summary.
Yeah.
It's a movie about this dog that has a lot of lives in one life and finds his call to the wild, and goes to the wild.
Yeah, that dog
And it's a
don't do
big
shit.
dog. He's a big dog. He has my
He's a
dog's
woofer.
face. So the whole movie, I was like, it's my dog, and it's big puppers.
Biggest
Yeah.
Not a human-looking face.
No, it had a
No,
dog face. It was
yeah.
really good. Yeah. Surprisingly, the CGI was good.
This-
Really,
yeah.
compared to the trailers.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that.
So
Don't worry,
bad.
because I'm actually gonna mention Connor in this podcast as well. But
Okay.
Ray first.
Adapted from the beloved literary classic, The Call of the Wild vividly brings to the screen the story of Buck, a big-hearted dog who blissfully... I'm having a stroke. Whose blissful domestic
stroke?
life is turned upside down. When it's flipped and turned upside down. Anyway,
Let me get this man some tequila.
when he is suddenly uprooted from his California home and transplanted to the exotic wilds of the Alaskan Yukon during the gold rush of the 1890s.
Oh.
I'm gonna stop there because this thing's like 18 pages long.
Oh yeah, okay, that was a good summary. Harrison Ford's in this movie a little.
Yeah.
more towards like
An
the end.
impactful amount.
Yes, no, it was the right amount of Harrison
Yeah.
Ford. I liked old man
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. in
That's
this,
all
so
they could afford.
That's all.
We
That's
have-
probably all
we
they could
had a
afford.
weird like couple of movies
Yeah.
now to where like the main actor that like the headlining actor or actress
Isn't
is
really
not
in the
really
movie.
in the
Yeah.
movie.
I've noticed that as well. It's a cool trend. I like it. Ray, what'd you think about this movie?
I actually really enjoyed this movie. The dog didn't look as bad
As the
as
trailer,
It,
it blew my mind.
yeah,
They did a Sonic.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Because so you know Connor, you got everyone who listens to the podcast. They know Connor, and
He's Connor.
Connor has a
I
really
don't
big
know.
thing about dog movies, and he even said the CGI was much better than from the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know. So we're all in agreement of that. This movie was better. If the trailer was like, ooh, that CGI looks whack, it's not. It's not whack.
I was,
was just like an
pleasantly
early-
surprised.
I was surprisingly
I
surprised.
was pleasantly surprised as well. It took a bit to get used to. Cause
Yep,
you can
about
tell
about
it's
15
CGI.
minutes.
Yeah,
and then
but
I got
after
into
you
it.
Did it was
Yeah.
like fine.
Like what
And-
Cats
Oh.
didn't do.
Yes. Oh my
Still
god.
didn't
Let's
see
not
cats.
talk about that. Okay.
Don't see it.
I won't.
I dropped my. I had to go get prescription checked after seeing the movie because it destroyed my eyes.
Oh my god.
Is it that bad?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw it
Not
before the
bad.
graphical update that they sent all the movie theaters. So when I saw it, I was like, why are some of them wearing like ballet shoes and they're not like having cat paws, but other people have cat paws? That was not supposed to happen. And I was like, oh, that makes
boy,
sense.
That's
I'm
real
like,
bad.
why did
Why are
her
they
arms
floating?
phase through his chest? Oh, it wasn't rendered right. Cool, great to know. Like,
That's
yeah, no,
train
don't talk
wreck.
about cats. All right, cats is a 0. Don't go see it.
I want to see it so bad now.
Don't do drugs.
That'll be one of my pies. So for sure.
Nightmare fuel.
All right, what do you rate
I give it a 3.
Call of the Wild?
I'm
You
talking
go
about it
next.
now.
Yeah, it's your turn, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Ray,
Well,
give it
I
3.
thought we haven't heard from you in a minute.
Oh, that's fine. I'll talk about this movie. Call of the Wild. So I walked in and I was kind of pissed off at the trailer. I was like, oh, it's gonna be kind of cheesy,
Yeah.
whatever. I got used to the CGI a little bit, and then about 30 to 35 minutes into it, I looked at Keegan and I went, fuck this movie. I'm liking it too much. It's so good. It hit me right in the hearts. I teared up a few times. There was definitely some tears shed. Not like a full like ugly cry. That was a different movie, but there were some tears. I don't know why Buck, the main dog, I guess they just had to CGI him more, so that's why it wasn't as refined. But the rest of the animals in the movie were incredibly rendered.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, the rest of the dogs in the dog sled team were really good.
I thought the
but
old dog,
the
oldest
old dog
out of
looked
it was
really
like,
good.
he reminded me of at least 9 dogs I know right now.
And
that-
the big, I'm not gonna give too much for it, but the big black wolf, oh my gosh, that thing was majestic as fuck. Every time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a good boy.
This is also kind of a hard movie to spoil because it's such a famous book that a lot of people just read it.
That's true. Yeah, I've never read the book, but
Yeah.
yeah. But and
Don't
the
spoil it.
wolf at the end was
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh my goodness, like not the Act 3. I guess she's in the movie for a good
Bon
chunk of
likes
time.
wolves. If you have,
Yeah, I do really like wolves,
if you
and I
like
like
the
animals. I like
if you've not
just
seen our
feel good
artwork.
movies. The one thing I will say is a little predictable, and there were a few scenes that I didn't really like. There was a few times where the CGI was a little wonky, but like only like 1 or 2 scenes. It
Right.
wasn't enough to take me out of the movie. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I give it a 3.
Yeah, I thought this was really okay. It was really, yeah, it was really okay. That's
Okay.
That's, yeah, it's a good.
All right,
Not
all
bad.
right.
You're just your tone shift. You're like, I thought this movie was really okay.
Yeah, yeah.
like it didn't blow my mind in any points of it. It was a solid, I think, story all the way throughout, but it didn't have any high highs or low lows for me in it. Like there was some like maybe some little hiccups like along the way, but it didn't rock the boat. It didn't
My
sway me
biggest-
one way or the other, and I kind of felt the same throughout the whole movie.
My biggest issue with the movie was definitely the antagonist, dude. I was just like, just
Yeah.
give up, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think that was actually
was
pretty
so
true
annoying.
to like character though, especially during those times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People during that
just-
time
yeah.
period get very vengeful and they have
That's fair.
nothing else to live for.
But it
well,
was-
okay.
It was like
Except
a
for
kind
whiskey.
of a forced antagonist. Just so
Yeah,
they could have
that
some
that was
problem.
that was my big thing, and there was a few scenes. We'll get into spoilers. There's a few scenes I didn't like about it, but Call of the Wild. Is it better than? We don't have to ask about rhythm section anymore. Fuck you, rhythm section. You're trash.
But I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
There you go.
Is it better than Like a Boss?
Yes.
Yes. Is it better than The Lodge?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Good man. Is it better than The Grudge?
Yes.
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 Fantastic. Better than Sonic?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I also agree. I'm actually kind of surprised we all agree on that one. Is it better than Horse Girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Is it better than Gretel and Hansel? I say no. This is where I say no.
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 Oh, I said yes.
Oh man, you are outvoted though. Wow, I'm actually surprised. Wow. Okay. Fantastic.
They did about the same for me.
Okay.
Each movie.
Okay, Finn. Call of the Wild then is going to knock Like a Boss to the bottom. You're trash.
Trash.
You're
And,
not. You're nice garbage. You're hot garbage.
yeah, and it'll be in between Gretel and Hansel and Horse Girl. So that is where Call of the Wild sits on our gauntlet. Next up, we're talking about Bhoot. Chapter 1,
Fuck, Bhoot.
The Haunted Ship.
This does not have a description on the AMC app.
Did you already look?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I
It
got it,
is.
I got this.
Okay. Oh, you can go for it.
Yeah. All right. Bhoot means ghost in like Hindi.
In Hindi, yes.
In Hindi, and it's a motherfucking ghost ship. And guess what? There's a lot of ghosts there's a lot of ghosts on the ghost ship. And
It's a
there's-
Bollywood horror movie.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, it's basically all the dramatics that you would want from a Bollywood movie, and it just made it great. But yeah, cop loses family and deals with struggles to then weird ship shows up on their shore and they have to
which
get rid of
actually
it.
happened. That was
Yeah.
based on a true story. A
Right.
ship randomly
Yeah.
washed up just like that on the beaches
And they
in
made
India.
up all these stories
And that was
for it.
really cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was neat.
Which maybe they are not true, or maybe they are. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Oh, man.
That's to the mystery.
That's
It's like it's a ship of ghosts.
Oh my god.
And so then it's still a part 1 that fucks with me so hard right now.
I mean, yeah. Makes sense for it to be part 1.
Yeah. I don't know though. It seemed like a good ending.
You know there's an after credit scene, right?
Yes. I think we saw the same after credit scene.
Yeah.
Like in the middle section or at the
Yeah.
very, very end.
No, in like the middle section.
Yeah, no, we
they
saw
like
that.
totally hinted at part 2.
Yeah, but I didn't know why it was called Chapter 1 because it didn't need to be. It
Yeah.
could have just
Yeah, I
been
guess.
Bhoot, the haunted
I
ship,
guess
and I
they
would
just
have been
like
okay
wanted
with
you to
it.
know, hey, we're making
Another one. Yeah.
But yeah, a not like police detective, but a guy who wants to be kind of like Superman goes and puts himself in problems that he probably shouldn't be in, and ends up being a ghost ship.
Yeah.
What was their job? I couldn't like figure.
I think they were.
Like
They were like the
environmental.
I think they were
Environmental-
like, yeah.
India. Okay.
Yeah, I think there was something like that because they were working with the newspapers,
They
which
must have
was
been
that.
like-
That's what confused me.
And then
They're like
yeah,
with
I don't know.
customs and
Yeah.
like imports and shit
Probably
like
that
that.
would make sense.
Would make sense for the first scene that
Yeah.
he's in. It's
Yes.
like, yes,
Yeah,
these
okay.
goods are not
Yeah,
scams
these
and
goods are
stuff.
not good. So yeah, no, I thought I went in this movie having like zero expectations, and I was genuinely surprised by how well done this movie was.
It was
Like
fantastic.
it was really good. Oh my goodness. Because Act 1 and 2 were very good horrors, where the jump scares were narrative jump scares. They weren't cheap jump scares. Like they
Yeah.
were all fitting and really well done.
Fuck
And then Act 3 got a little Bollywood. I'm not gonna lie.
That it
Like
did.
the church scene took a huge turn where I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I forgot that this is Bollywood, but that right there makes it so.
if you guys don't
And it got
understand
really
Bol-
exciting, and they were like, "No, but he's not alive, but he's alive." It was amazing. Like I loved
Like if
every
you all
moment.
wonders, like if you haven't seen any like Hindi or Bollywood movies, like literally think of the smoldering from Jumanji. It's like that,
The
but for a
smoldering.
solid like six
Yeah.
and a half minutes.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is this movie did a Ghost Ship. You remember that movie that had like a really good
Yeah.
intro and then
Yeah.
was ass? This was just that, but much better.
It's just ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. I give this solid 3, like almost in the 4s. Like this is a 3 movie for me. Ray?
Yeah, my rating's very similar. I almost gave it a 4, and I was like, it's not there.
Yep.
Act 3 didn't do it for me.
Right, Act 3 was a little, but it wasn't as bad as some other, like, it didn't go super cliche
No.
on the horror. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that the ending was actually
I
suitable.
thought the like general twist of it was actually pretty good.
Me too, I like the twist. I like the twist, and some of just the ambient setting, where there weren't jump scares, but just there were moments where I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're waiting
like,
for one,
yep.
and then just didn't happen. You're
I
like,
jumped so hard because the music changed abruptly.
Keegan almost shit his pants.
I
Sound
almost
design
had a
was great.
fucking
Sound
heart
design
attack
really
during
good.
this
Yeah.
movie because I'm a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about his.
Yeah, you are.
What
You
do
would not
think?
have lived my movie because I ended up seeing this movie yesterday alone in the theater, and it was like
There was only one
alone.
other person of us, so.
Yeah, there's me. Yeah, there's only one other person. It was the attendant that walked in, saw I was there, and decided not to clean, so just left his broom.
That's awesome. What do you rate it, Keegan?
Oh, it's a 4.
It's a 4. All right, nah, that's a good man. All right, so it's gonna go up the gauntlet real quick. Then I'm assuming better than Doolittle.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than The Lodge.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that you? You're. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Better than The Grudge.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Better than Sonic.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Better than Horse Girl.
Yes.
Yes. Better than Call of the Wild.
Yes.
Yes.
Better than Gretel and Hansel.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Better than Bad Boys 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Better than Underwater.
Oh
Yes.
No, but I'm outvoted and I know that. Better than Weathering with You.
Yes.
No.
I say yes.
God.
Better than Fantasy Island.
Hell no.
Yes.
Yes.
My
I think this
God.
is the better horror of
I
the
don't think so.
year. Oh man, I think it is. You're outvoted
I
again.
agree with that.
Better than Birds of Prey.
No.
No.
I also.
That's where I draw the line.
I don't remember where I put Bhoot in Birds of Prey. I think it might have it above, but that's okay. I still got outvoted. So. All right, well, congratulations. Foreign films already making it on our list. It's at
Dude,
number
we
3.
still have Weather
And
Really
it kicks
Good
out
top 5.
Doolittle. Doolittle is now officially one of our bottoms.
I hate you all.
You're trash, Doolittle. I'm sure.
Shit.
We have
That was
kicked
quick.
Frankie out of the bottom. No, we love you, Frankie. We do. All right, and we're gonna talk about last movie,
Episode.
Invisible Man. So now that Doolittle was kicked out of the top 13, Frankie, what do you think of Invisible Man? The next movie we're talking about.
I gave it a 2.
Do you want to tell more about it?
No.
Okay.
I'm upset. No.
Maybe we'll come back around to.
Casey, your turn.
It's good.
Nice. Like it. Simple. Sweet.
I don't know.
Leaves you wanting a little bit more.
I have to admit, I missed the beginning. What did I?
You missed like the first 15.
How?
You missed.
Yeah.
You missed essentially the trailer.
Yeah, it was pretty much all in the trailer. Her sneaking out of the house, taking off the dog collar, bumping into the car alarm goes off. He wakes up as she's climbing the wall, and then she's in that the other dude's house and finds out that he's dead and committed suicide.
Oh yeah.
That's literally the whole trailer. Like the first
Yeah.
15 minutes was the trailer,
Which
just
is
done
good.
longer.
That's how you do a trailer.
But then all the side trailers on Facebook and like
Show
Twitter
them,
show
yeah.
the rest of the movie, so I'm a little
Which
upset
is
by
super
that.
annoying.
But it's so
but
annoying.
I didn't watch those,
Okay.
so I went in kind of expecting something like really ominous and like you don't know if it's real or if she's crazy or if everybody's crazy. Like it would have been really cool to do something like that and then maybe do like a big reveal at the end. What happened? Don't want to give spoilers. Was not what I was expecting and was a little bit disappointing.
But like I'm a little confused because the Invisible Man is like from something else. Like, how did you not know it was gonna be kind of like that kind of movie?
Because of the one trailer I saw, it was like really like it was like it made it really feel like it was not going to be like there's a man. It could be literally.
So why would they call it the Invisible Man?
you could use that as a euphemism. For
I
a ghost.
guess for Ghost.
No,
yeah.
I'm not saying it would be a ghost. I'm literally saying it's like a psychological thriller about.
He's saying it's kind of like a horse girl.
No, I know. I know exactly what he's saying. I just don't know why they would have called it Invisible Man if it was like that. But
I don't know. It's just a vibe that I got going into it. So I mean, maybe it's a odd like thing that I had preordained, but I looked it up, saw the trailer, had a thought about it, came into the theater, and when I left, I was like, okay, it's not a bad movie and by any means. There's some really cool sets, for sure. I liked the thing, like how it looked, I guess.
The Invisible Man looks. Yeah. I see what you're saying. What do you rate it?
Probably 2 for me.
2? Cool. Frankie, did you want to say anything?
No.
Okay. Keegan.
This movie was the biggest load of pleasantly surprising mediocrity.
There we go again.
All right.
I thought this was like
Pleasant load of surprising mediocrity. That I need that on a pillow like that.
Go to sleep every night. Yes.
Here's my
This is what I
surprising
am.
load of.
Oh god.
Can I get that on a T-shirt? Like,
My surprising load of
TM.
mediocrity.
Dude, wow. All right.
But
well, that's gonna be a quote.
yeah. I like going into it. Like I seen the trailers. I seen everything. It definitely felt like it was gonna be boring as fuck.
Ah,
The trailers. That's what I got from it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be like semi whatever. But the acting was fucking great. The fucking it didn't scare me.
Darn.
Twice.
It did
Which is
just
one
twice.
more. Which is one more than Abominable. So let's fucking get that straight.
wow.
And it
It's
definitely
also
felt-
like
it felt
it's
like
two
a
more than
psycho-
The Turning.
It felt like a psycho
Yeah.
thriller to me. Like I thought it was gonna be a little bit more, but it ended up being more kind of like
It felt
an
like
adventurous.
it felt like a modern Psycho.
There was
almost.
one scene where I saw. I just felt Keegan jump.
Me
He was
too.
sitting
And I
right
wasn't
next
even like in the
I wasn't
same
even-
row, and I was like,
the whole
Keegan
theater.
jumped.
The whole-
theater shuddered.
The whole
That's what
chair
he did.
just
the
shook.
whole
I just
theater.
felt Keegan.
I did it with the
Oh.
crowd.
It's breakfast. Breakfast.
Yeah.
I literally have a pancake breakfast, and it's like that fucking got me.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Oh my god.
Cause even I said it, I was like, oh my fucking god.
I thought he was. Gonna
You said
get out
that
of
an
his seat,
Abominable
man.
too. You're like,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, did you
I'm
guys
trash.
hear me saying my joke during
No.
the Dolby? It got quiet. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Dolby. That's what you fucking do.
Yeah, Ray and I made the same joke, and then I did my classic. Yes, the projector's still on.
Yes.
All right, Ray, what'd you think of this movie?
I was shocked this movie was like somewhat good.
Right? Yeah.
Because I saw the trailer and it reminded me of like Kevin Bacon's old like Hollow Man movie.
Oh yeah.
So that's what
fuck. I
Wow,
forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Jesus.
expecting it to be.
Hit me in my dad's
What a
childhood.
callback, yeah.
Fuck.
Hit
college.
me in my dad's childhood.
Wow, another
Wow.
pillow.
Pillow.
Dude,
I was asleep
That
for
should be
tonight.
our first set of merchandise for the podcast. Just woke
Shitty.
butter quotes.
Woke butter.
Yes.
On T-shirts and shit.
And literally make like a woke.
Oh, he already has drawings of it. No, it's official.
All right.
That's gonna be our first product for Polarize Report. Is just
Oh my
woke
God.
butter shirts.
Woke butter shirts. I like it.
But yeah, I don't know. This movie was like surprisingly like it kept me interested like the whole time the show
Mhm.
was gonna end, which
Cool.
was like surprising because
Yeah.
because it was like a
Did not give you that feel like it.
yeah it was just like I started from the trailer and I was like this movie's gonna like die off at some point and just stop being interesting
Mhm.
and then it didn't.
So what I will say is that the trailers showed a lot of like action scenes because
Yeah.
it had to because it was the trailer. What I thought the movie did well was there wasn't any action scenes until like the second half of the movie. The
Yeah.
first half was
I just feel like it
complete
was way too much.
scene building
Yeah.
and ambient feeling, and
Yeah.
I really liked that.
I was gonna say I think the first act was actually
Yes,
the
the
strongest
first
part of
act was
movie.
the strongest. The second act was okay.
Just
The third
ruined
act was really
it
cool.
ruined what made it scary because she figured out how to. God, I can't. Yeah.
To like fight him kind of.
Yeah, she figured out what was
Fighting
up,
thing.
and
Yeah.
it wasn't scary anymore.
But
liked-
I didn't go in for it to be scary.
Yeah, I think
I
it
had
was-
the original assumption that's
What's
supposed to be
what's-
scary.
What I
and
mean
horror.
by scary is like imagining something like this happening to you, and like the just like the small things that he was doing.
I know, but it made sense though. Like
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it made it sense. Like it wasn't some crazy, the
I-
unrealistic
saying
scientific
that they-
discovery. It
I
was-
know, I totally agree. What I'm saying is, I just feel like they could have played off of the total creepy feeling of not knowing if you're crazy or if
But
this
this
thing's
is I know,
actually
but you wanted that out of Glass, and Glass didn't give it that to you. I feel like you just want a movie that we haven't seen yet, and when we get to see that movie, you're gonna love it.
I feel like you just need to watch Horse Girl.
Yeah, or just watch Horse Girl. He's trying to compare it to Joker. That's what you're trying to do.
That was just in my head.
Yep, I know. That's not every movie's gonna
But-
be as good as Joker. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Casey. I'm sorry. What do you rate it, Keegan?
I gave it a 3.
3?
I give it a 3.
3? You gave it a
2.
2?
Too.
I gave it a 3. Cool. All right, goes with the gauntlet.
That's the
I
sound of
can't.
going up
I
and
don't
down.
have any say.
Better than The Lodge.
Recuse,
Unless it gets the birds.
Yes.
Yeah, unless it gets the Birds of Prey.
which is
Be shocked.
Yeah, me too. Better than The Lodge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Better than The Grudge.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Better than Sonic.
Yes.
Better than Horse Girl.
No, go fuck
Yes.
yourself.
That's actually a solid vote, though. He's seen both, so you say no.
No,
say
go fuck yourself.
Okay, I say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
so go fuck you.
Better than Call of the Wild.
Yes.
No.
Even though I gave
No.
Call of the Wild a 4.
No, I put Call of the Wild higher on my list.
I have
so.
Saw the Wild Higher.
Yep, me too. So that is where it
Even
stops.
though I
They're
gave
so
it
close for me.
4.
Even the right, that was a stupid sentence right there.
Man,
So it's below.
Did I
three
say so?
movies that I told you that were the
Sit
same
down.
on my list are the 3 movies back to back on the list in the order that I have them.
That's awesome. That being said, though, Invisible Man kicks out The Lodge. Well,
Yeah,
well, short-lived.
yeah, short-lived Lodge. You were there.
The
now, you're
shortest-
not.
Hashtag garbage.
Shortest.
Carpaccio.
Garbage.
Placeholder.
You're trash. The Lodge.
Shortest placeholder. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was it. Let's get into spoilers. So now, if you're still listening,
So we
at
can
this-
only spoil
Spoilers.
one movie.
One movie.
Because all of us have only seen that one movie.
Well,
right?
what about Birds of Prey?
yeah, we can spoil Birds of Prey.
I haven't seen Birds of Prey.
He hasn't seen
Oh,
Birds of Prey.
Lincoln. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Small spoilers for.
spoilers,
If you're still
spoilers,
listening, we will
spoilers.
slightly be spoiling The Lodge, Bhoot, and Call of the Wild, and we will be heavily
The Lodge
spoiling
isn't worth watching.
The Invisible
Fine.
Man. And
Spoilers.
starting in 3, 2, 1.
They
He
stole
has
her
like
pills.
he
They're
has a
shitty
camera
kids.
suit.
So,
The kids are
shoots-
shitty.
She
rubber,
shoots the
it
dude's
doesn't,
brother in the
like,
chest
it
4
looks-
times.
Yeah, that
I'm
did
gonna
happen.
steal my
and they're
mentally-
actually
Harrison
shorter in
Ford,
real life.
finds his
Dad's
Call of the
mistress
Wild.
There's
takes
a cell
pills
phone
and
above
expect-
there.
Alicia Silverstone kills herself immediately.
God, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
ouch.
She also apparently
Homie didn't
doesn't
actually
bleed.
kill himself. He was
Anybody else
locked in his
notice
own
that?
basement, I guess.
What?
The fact that she cut the fuck out of herself and then
Oh,
she
yeah.
didn't bleed that
Yeah.
entire scene. There's
Yeah.
no
She sure
blood.
did.
That
Yeah,
was a little
especially when
weird.
she was getting dragged on the floor. I was looking for blood. and
Me
I
too.
didn't see it.
That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the worst. I don't know. I hate that.
Her
shit.
change at the end, like
Remember
how
my
she
word? Does
changed.
anybody remember
Yeah,
my
that
word?
makes sense.
What word?
That what that stuff like that ruins.
Oh yeah.
Starts with the V.
I remember. I have it on my recap.
Ventriloquism.
Yeah, I
But
had it. That wasn't right, but
It's not ventriloquism.
I'm glad you
Similitude.
said it, not
Yeah,
me.
because I highlighted that in your intro on like our year season 1 review. I have you saying on talking all about that
Yeah.
On
because
what?
we value you. And if you go back and listen to all of season 1, you'll hear like it's really interesting. Like I don't want to bring this up, but your ex, it shows you how much you like grew throughout the year.
Oh.
Because you
dude.
talked about her almost every episode until you didn't,
Yeah.
and then you got happy. It was really cool
Yeah.
to see. Like,
Okay. I have to listen to that. It's hilarious.
cool. But yeah, how'd she change so fast at the end? Like,
I
what
don't,
the
yeah, I don't
fuck?
get that
was
either.
weird.
Like some inside her just like snapped. Is the only
No, no, I
thing.
mean like
Well,
the
very
actual clothing.
Oh, the changing
Oh,
of from
like how she
oh,
put on
oh,
the
yeah,
suit
there's invisible
Okay,
and then took out the suit.
Oh,
So quick.
My very first thought as soon as she found the suit is put it on. Like,
yeah.
how cool would that have been? Like the duel of the invisible people.
You
That
know,
would
that'd
be
be
dope.
kind of hard to watch though.
No, it wouldn't. There'd be knives
You
in
just
the
see,
air.
you just see a
All right.
Yeah.
Or there's just not. They're just like fisticuffs. And you hear.
They're just both standing in the corner of the room, and it's
Just hear
just the
punching
camera
sounds.
panning around the room.
That would actually be intense. I wonder if that would work. I'm
And then there's
curious
just
now.
like a
Just
glass
like the
that
camera's
gets thrown.
and like nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
It's like two ghosts like fighting.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
No,
All you
I don't know.
hear
I
is
just thought it'd
punching
be
and
a
kicking
cool
sounds.
because like
That's it.
the thing is, she knows that he's gonna be looking for her, not as an invisible person.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially when she was trying to sneak out of the house
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she found an invisible suit. and
What
didn't
is
think,
the
"I should
deal?
put
Why
this
don't
on."
try to hide in a room?
Also, shout out to that Uber driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she-
dude.
You can tell he
Yeah.
felt uncomfortable as well. He's like,
I'm
"Alright."
pretty sure it was Lyft. Give
Um,
them the
also-
credit.
All right, shout out
I
to
saw-
that Lyft driver.
I
How
saw
many
Lyft in the
hours were
window.
they driving? Like,
It had to be like
at least in
minimum
one.
like 6, right? Well, it was pitch black.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been an
yeah.
hour.
When he
I mean,
picked her up.
but it was a long drive, nonetheless.
Yeah, it could have been like.
And then
3 or
she's
4
like,
hours for
"Hey,
sure.
Just turn around and take me back," and he's like, "Sure."
I think he.
like,
I think he noticed that she was in like distress, and he probably made bank
Yeah.
off that Uber ride.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Okay,
She had
no.
the
If you
money.
know anything about Uber, that's not how Uber works.
Yeah.
Isn't it if it's like a longer drive, you get paid more?
Nope. It's,
Oh.
if it's longer when it first gets ordered. After that, if it takes forever, you don't generally get paid more.
I feel like when it was ordered, she
Yeah,
kinda
when it was
put in where
ordered, she
was
put in the
going.
address. Like that
She's
first
like-
ride,
That would
he
not
made
be
bank.
allowed with Uber.
Very small detail.
Well, and that's
of
why
the
it was
movie.
Yeah.
Or Lyft. I've done both.
Maybe it
for
was
years.
Well,
the
he's
Invisible
probably
Man
making
service.
money
Like,
off-
come on.
off
If
wait
I could
time.
take people to Vail and back, I'd do it all the time, but I can't
Mm.
because they don't allow that. So,
Well,
Probably making
maybe it's
bank
different
off
in
wait time.
that city.
yeah,
San Fran?
In San
Yeah,
Francisco.
San Fran, yeah.
San Francisco.
could be true.
Oh my god, his house! I want it.
Dude, that
Dude,
house was-
I gotta say that's my favorite
That-
part about the whole movie.
Oh
is
my
that-
god, yeah,
that
his house
I
is
just want
gorgeous.
his
The
basement,
bedroom
man.
was so cool.
I just want his basement. It was
I
so.
just want the
so
boarded
nice.
up basement, man.
Really, dude? I want the bedroom that like overlooks the ocean
That
and
was
it's
pretty
like
I just-
open.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's all I
Hearing
care
those
about.
wave noises like was so soothing.
Keegan would have
And
passed out
Dobie,
instantly.
and then just
Dude, Dobie was what? Like, oh my god!
Well,
Like
even-
the
even
intro,
the intro,
the fucking intro was
fuck.
like waves crashing on the rocks, and I was like, wow, Dobie's getting a lot of like its quality out of this
Yeah.
movie. Like, this movie was
Blumhouse
made
is
for
just
it.
spitting on it.
This
This
while
is the
literally
second
what
Blumhouse
nobody-
movie.
Blumhouse crushing it this year
Dude,
so far.
Blumhouse kicking ass too.
Yeah.
What
Like,
was their other one? They
Fantasy
did.
Island.
Fantasy Island.
Oh, yeah, that's
movie
right.
coming out.
They definitely
yeah,
felt
very
like
soon.
big
It's called
movies, though.
The First
Yeah.
Cow.
They
Yeah.
felt
That's
like
their
big
first
budget
movie, yeah.
movies.
Sure.
So that's
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, it's what else? It's the girl from Us. I don't know. That's something that ruined it for me too. She was one of the.
Oh yeah, she was in Us, wasn't she? But
Yeah.
she,
in The
I
Handmaid's
remember
Tale,
her for well, she was in another movie with Melissa McCarthy where they're like thugs. They take over the gangs of New York, but with women. What was it called? Oh my god, it came out last year.
Yeah, you got me lost here, cause
Yeah,
I know what movie you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking
It
about,
was
right?
the three women.
It's three women
um,
who like took
fuck,
over
that was
because
a
their
good
husbands
movie, too.
died.
Oh, I know what you're
Widows.
talking about.
Widows.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Widows. Yeah. Woo! No, it wasn't.
Something like that.
It was
No,
something like Widows.
it
Charlie's
was.
Widows was in
Angels.
there. No, it went out.
Charlie's
No.
I want to see.
You know what I'm
that.
talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
She was
Not
in that
Widows?
movie too.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Which one?
Widows?
Charlie's Angels.
Oh.
No, I heard it was awful. We didn't
Charlie's
even see
Angels
it.
was
It's-
real bad. It was.
You didn't even see it. That's
No.
like Shay Steve. You gotta give it a chance. I want to bring an opinion.
But the great, it didn't come out this year.
Oh, it didn't?
No, it came out last year. That's why we haven't seen
Went licking.
it. It was one of those movies that came out on Christmas Day, but technically we're in theaters January 7th, so we didn't fucking
Damn.
see it.
How much?
Like 1917.
Fuck 1917.
Dude, I want to see that movie.
I like
Oh, I'm gonna
1917.
trip and fall and die.
That was awesome.
Hey,
So great.
shush! I don't want your damn spoilers.
Yeah, don't
That's
spoil it.
like-
That's
During
not a
the
spoiler.
spoiler.
That's
That
like
is
the
not a
scene
spoiler.
from the trailer.
Over
It's also
a
in the
month
trailer.
old.
the Germans lose.
Oh shit!
Motherfucker.
No way.
Eventually.
That was funny. All right, we're not talking about 1917 on this podcast, so yeah, cool. Anything else to say
So how
about
about
those?
1917?
No.
Fuck 1917.
Oh, did you guys want to mention? They also saw My Hero Academia. Do you want to
Oh, My Hero Academia was so good.
Do our weed plug real quick.
Our
Alright.
weed plug.
Weed plug. Go.
Yeah, if you've
Quick.
had sex, please leave.
Uh,
Oh, wait,
Like-
I
Yeah. Oh, hey guys, I'm
Please
still
don't
here.
leave, I'm
This
sorry.
is awkward. Just me, myself, and I. My Hero Academia is the second movie that had come out, and for me, it was way too fucking happy-go-lucky, especially with the
This
story
one?
arc that just happened. And like, cause I watched this show, I'm not up to date on the manga, so it's just
I'm
fucking
fanning him.
rough. It was just. I don't think it was too far in the future for me, but apparently
Yeah.
you like have
Dude,
your
it
opinions
was so
on it.
far ahead that I'm worried about people that haven't like paid it, like are behind on the anime at all because you miss some hard stuff.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's why
being
we
ahead,
could miss it.
I think so too. It's not. Well, it isn't. It isn't. It's big enough, but there's smaller details that come from it,
Yeah.
to where it's not as much of a spoiler as it actually is.
So it's gonna just be picked apart by like the major
Yeah.
like places that cover. Like every time I see it, it's like, did you see what happened in
Did
this
you
episode?
see
And
this?
I'm like, no one really fucking cares. you can calm
without
down there.
without spoiling anything, the final fight scene was so good.
Oh yes.
I've watched it on YouTube like 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah, no, that's where I seemed like all the budget went, because there were some lacking fucking scenes in the
There were.
movie too of the animation. I was really fucking let down by it, not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
there was a couple of rush parts to where I was like,
All right. Well, even though we're not adding it on the list, what do you rate it?
I think I give it a 4.
I give it a 2.
This is definitely a pie movie for me though, because
Okay.
this is a very good. It showcases my favorite character.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason, and we had we had a discussion.
Go.
I want to spoil a little bit, but
No
They
spoilers,
should've-
No
because
spoilers.
Casey's like plugging his ears
fine,
about
then.
it.
It's not really spoiling, but
Can I-
somebody
well,
should have
okay.
died in this,
Oh,
and it would have made
okay.
it so much better. Which I think I say that about every
Yeah, you
fucking.
do.
Yeah, you
Okay.
do.
All right.
It is a non-canon movie.
Really?
Yes, it is
That's
non-canon.
interesting.
The other one, the first one, is canon.
What is? Oh, that it. Okay, canon. What does that mean?
It means
It's
that
the
it's part of the
universe.
universe.
It's part of the main storyline.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so-
Come on.
Yeah, the first one wasn't.
No, the first one was.
Was it?
This one is not.
Okay. As the podcast, we had a huge talk about this movie, and the reason we will not be adding it to the list on the podcast is because since it is an anime movie, it's hard for it to stand alone.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like if a Naruto movie came out or like a Bleach movie, where it's like if you haven't watched the anime, it's hard to like that movie.
Yeah.
Know where to watch Shippuden, by the way.
I'm
Hulu.
pretty sure you could watch it on Hulu,
Yeah.
or I think it's on
I looked it
Netflix too. It's definitely on
No,
Netflix.
Naruto
Shippuden?
is not
Shippuden.
Shippuden is on Hulu.
Okay,
For sure.
cool.
You might be able to
That
find
being
out
said,
Go Anime,
so
and
that's
it's for
why
free.
My
It's a
Hero
website.
Academia will not be on our list, so it doesn't have to go up the gauntlet or down the gauntlet. So,
Or
cool.
Crunchyroll, like a Crunchyroll, so you can borrow it too.
You're
Alright.
such a good friend.
But guys,
There you go.
really quick,
Girlfriend,
we didn't
share
we didn't
streaming
go we didn't go
services.
backwards in our gauntlet, so we have to
I got
decide
Disney
like
Plus.
what the
Yeah.
bottom 5 are really quick based on what we have now. So we have The Turning, The Lodge, Doolittle, Like a Boss, and Rhythm Section, right? Turning, Lodge, Doolittle, Like a Boss, Rhythm Section.
Right.
So do we just want to put them in the order that they were kicked out?
Let's see where that's at.
All right, so I'm pretty sure that would put. Oh my gosh, I have to write numbers.
Turning at number 5.
Yep, Turning would be the number 5. Well, technically number 1. I just wrote them backwards, but yeah, The Turning would be number 5.
Of course, I think-
Rhythm Section would be number 4.
Okay, I was
Doolittle
about
is definitely the best on that list.
Best one.
I think I might agree actually.
Next
Yeah?
is Like a Boss.
Fair enough.
Like a Boss.
I didn't see that one.
And then it's Doolittle and The Lodge.
Yeah.
Doolittle's definitely the best.
I
on
think
that
Doolittle's
list.
the best out of them.
Well, we ain't gonna have a fucking tie on
Yeah.
the bottom because I don't care
Yeah,
that
that's
much.
fine.
So
Doolittle's
we're gonna
better.
put Doolittle better than the Lodge for
Let's go.
for you
It's
guys.
the little victories.
Fuck yeah!
That's just for now, though.
It's
That's
the
the
best
one-
of the
the
It
least
might get
worst.
kicked back out. Like there's probably gonna be 3 more movies worse than Doolittle
Yeah.
this year.
It's
so
the best
I'm not
of the
too worried
worst,
about it,
though.
guys.
The
All right.
best of the
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Polarize Report. Follow us on now YouTube as well. We are posting all the episodes on YouTube.
Did you
And
just say shit posting?
no, I didn't. Did I say? I did not mean
That's
to.
what I do.
We,
I
we
shit
are
post all the
posting
time.
on YouTube. And this episode will be the first time that we are testing the trailers. So at the beginning of this episode, hopefully you guys noticed the dope ass movie trailers for the 4 movies that we talked about. And yeah.
Dope ass.
Dope ass.
Ass.
Will that not get
We're
us
gonna use
blocked
just
on
the
YouTube?
not if I don't have 1,000 followers.
Oh.
When I get 1,000 followers, then I have to like file for monetization. But until then, we can do whatever we want. And
Because we poor.
because we
People.
poor, when we have
Follow
46,
us.
so
Give us
we have
1,000
46 subscribers
followers.
right now. Woo, go us. Where can we find Casey?
Mzungu Fresh and shit.
Zungu Fresh, he's back.
I'm back. Yeah. There's actually a lot of new music on there.
Oh, cool. That's actually really cool to see. I will post it in the link on SoundCloud and YouTube. Where can we find Frankie?
At your mom's house.
Exactly. And Keith.
I love his mom's house. You can find me on Twitter at WokeButter. You can find me on Instagram at Keegan Rock, YouTube's Keegan Rock 96.
You
Or
need
Keegan
to
Rock,
change that to woke.
and
Yeah,
Butter.
you
You
need to change
can-
everything to woke.
What are you doing?
You need to change your whole
You
life.
cannot
to
be
woke
anything
butter.
And we're gonna find
so
you,
what
Ray.
happens when I get ripped? Do I turn into woke curd?
You turn into yolk butter.
Yolk butter.
Oh my gosh. All right, and where
I'm
can we find
still
you?
at the Single Players Club on YouTube. We stream every week. This time, me and Colby streamed Destiny 2 actually because
Oh.
Matt was busy,
Oh,
and
cool.
I got really frustrated.
Oh, nice. That'll be good to see. And I'm Von Von. You can find me on all the good stuff. YouTubes, Twitters, SoundClouds, and I don't know, more things that I can't think of right now.
Say it.
MySpace.
MySpace. Yeah?
Thank you for listening to the Polarized Report. Make sure to tune in next week. Make sure to tune in next episode.